My name is Angela.
My name is Nicole.
And welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, Stitchers!
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Ominous Stitch podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
We are so excited to have you guys here on this rainy April day here.
Wow.
It's very rainy.
It's weird.
And it's April. We are finally...
April showers.
It's April for you guys. It has been April for you guys, but it is now April for us too. So... I love this everything. Like future past thing.
You know, everything time is happening all at once. You know that, right?
I do.
Yeah. Quantum physics.
I know. It's cool. I love that we are a part of it in our own little weird way. It's so cool. It's very fun.
We got to have our own time slips now.
Yeah. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Oh, so we're going to get right down to what has us in stitches because mine's going to be a little bit long. So
you start.
I should start?
Yes.
Okay.
Get it out. She's been wanting to get this out, everybody.
Yeah.
She's been thinking about it.
For us, as I mentioned, it is newly April. We did take a week off of recording for us. You guys did not miss a week, but we missed a week of seeing each other. So it's been a while. And it was quite a week for me.
It was long.
It was long. So we took it off because Easter. Hashtag it's April now. So
hashtag
Easter just happened.
I had visitors.
Yes, you did. And that's going to be your stitch.
Yeah.
But okay. So mine. So I have some sad news to report and it's going to be a little difficult for me to get through it, but because it is still kind of fresh, but I've been wanting to share this with you guys. And the weird thing is that today, as we're recording, this week's episode came out it just came out a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. And it was where I mentioned Thumper Watch for the first time.
That's right.
So as I was editing it, I was like, oh,
you all know where this is going.
Yeah. So Thumper Watch is officially over on March 30th at about 5:45 p.m. Thumper came into the world as a stillborn little baby alpaca.
Poor little girl.
Boy. Aww. Yeah, he was red like his mom.
Aww.
He was beautiful, but he was stillborn. So let me take you through the events as they transpired, and then there is some light at the end of the tunnel, which I will share with you guys, which I find quite beautiful. In all of this sadness, there's beauty. So always look for the beauty in the sadness. But, okay.
You got this.
So for us in California, it was very rainy on that Saturday. And Bambi, our alpaca, she was bred at the beginning of May, which their gestation period is 11 and a half months. So that means that she was due mid-April. So she was a little bit early, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. She was still full term at 11 months. But I knew that she, was coming close because she's been uncomfortable and just kind of like can't get comfortable and kind of rolling around.
We've been pregnant before, we know.
We know. And I've been watching her and stuff. But there are some truths about alpacas that I've learned in researching birthing and how they give birth. And it's a really amazing thing. So the truths that I was relying on are that alpacas very, very regularly, it is highly unusual for them to give birth past 3 p.m. Oh. They usually give birth early in the morning.
Interesting. So it's just on a natural clock.
Yeah, natural clock. Mm-hmm. They give birth normally in the morning, and they can give birth in the afternoon, but not usually past 3 p.m. or like late after, they don't go into the late afternoon, early evenings unless there's complications or a problem.
Uh-oh.
Right. They can also hold off their labor. So if the conditions are unfavorable, they can say not today and wait until the conditions are better and restart their labor. Right. Wouldn't that be amazing? So that's another truth.
Stay in there.
That I held on to is that, they can hold off their labor and wait until the conditions are more favorable and then deliver.
Okay.
Those are truths in healthy pregnancies and in healthy deliveries. So that gives me a little piece of solace in thinking that, maybe because I do have guilt. I do think that I wasn't there for her enough.
No. You can't think that. That's not anything that you can do.
I know, but you know me, and
yes.
I'm going to.
Don't you internalize it. Don't you do it. You're okay.
So it was a rainy day, and we had been out there checking on her regularly when the storm had cleared up, and we would go outside and look at her. We also have cameras set up.
Nice.
So we can watch. The problem with the cameras is that when it's rainy, raindrops gather on the camera. So it's kind of tough to see everything.
Sure.
And the camera is pointed at their shelter, but when they're all in their shelter and you have 11 alpaca in the shelter, it can be kind of difficult to distinguish who is who.
Right.
And where they are. And also their food bins are in there as well. So it's, we watched her and she would cush and lay down, but they were all doing that. So nothing seemed out of the ordinary other than, she was just uncomfortable because she's pregnant. We got a break in the weather about 5:15. So we decided to go out and check on the animals and feed them, do their evening feeding at that time. So I, go get their hay and I walk to the arena. All the alpacas are out except for Bambi. And as I open the gate, I see Bambi just come bounding out of the arena and I see out of her shelter and I see something hanging. And so then I rush to her really quick and I realize that it's two little legs and a little head. And he didn't look like he was breathing or anything. And I don't know how long she had been in the delivery process, but usually alpacas give birth in about 15 minutes to a half hour.
It's quick.
So it's a pretty quick birth.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long he was half delivered.
Sure.
So I have guilt on that because I wasn't there to see him.
You did not. You couldn't have predicted this.
Yeah. So I rushed to her. And we call the vet and, it's Saturday night before Easter.
Right.
So, but he was on call.
Oh, good.
And, he did call me back several times. We played phone tag because for whatever reason, I couldn't hear him when I would pick up his call. And so I would call him and then he'd call back and we were just leaving messages. And then I also have a mentor who owns an alpaca farm about 15 minutes away from me. So I called her and I was like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? And she's like, well, you have to deliver the baby. He can't stay there. The baby can't stay. And she wasn't progressing. In fact, it looked like it was regressing a little bit.
Oh, gosh.
So
you had to pull it out.
We got her harnessed and we separated her from the herd. And we have ways to close off different parts of the arena so that she can have her own space. So we closed off part of the arena and put her on a harness and we tied her up. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So we tied her up and then I pulled the baby out and she helped and she was pushing and I delivered him and then I gave him to her so that she could see him and she knew right away. And just watching her hum herself through and sniff him and check him out and check me out and check him out and check him out and you could see that she was just like a little bit like, what happened. And then she really wanted to get back with her herd because I think she wanted the comfort of the girls. And so after she was like trying to push the gate open to get back with the herd, I let her go, but I kept the baby with me a little bit in case she wanted to come back and check him out. And all the other girls were coming over to check him out too. And I was doing my own grieving. And he was beautiful. Yes, they are aliens. But, I cleaned him up and I got him a little bit fluffy. And then I laid him out and I took some photos of him so I could remember him. And then right now, if this is too much for you guys, I'm sorry. You can skip through the next, next little bit. But I did wrap him up and put him in a bag, and he's in my freezer until we can bury him.
Oh, wow.
So, because that's what I used to do when I worked at the animal hospitals. We would, keep the animals frozen until it was time to
give them back, right?
Either send them to the crematorium or bury them or whatever the owner wanted to do with the animal. Got it. So we are going to bury him. I picked out a spot, and so we're gonna do that as soon as the rain stops. It's supposed to thunderstorm some more today. So, but yeah. So I also texted. Here's where the beauty comes in. Oh, there's a little bit more that I want to share before I move on to the beautiful part. But so after I cleaned him up and, put him away, I went back to check on the girls, and I had to deliver the afterbirth.
Oh, man.
So Bambi and I weren't quite done. Oh. I let her spend some time with the girls, and then I called Becca. So shout out to Becca. Yay, Becca. She and my other sister, Heather, who is also in the medical field, they were like, okay, well, what does the afterbirth look like? Has she delivered it yet? And so they're sending me pictures and talking me through it.
Wow,
help
good.
me do it.
So glad.
So, I started to deliver it, but then it wasn't coming out. And so they're like, well, don't force it. She has about 2 hours to pass it. And so I just left it, and then, left her there because I had to feed my kids. So then we ran in and out and got burgers and then came back.
Oh, yikes.
And
you gotta do whatever you can, right?
Right. Because it was like almost 7:00 at this point.
Sure.
And then I go back out and I finish helping her deliver because she wasn't able to finish on her own. Okay. So that's the gory details of that. It was an incredible experience to deliver a baby and to help her experience that. It bonded us, and I felt it, and she felt it too. And here's how I know. So as you guys just heard in the episode that was just released this week, my former student is an animal psychic.
That's
and
right.
She talked with Bambi. So I immediately texted her afterwards, and I was like, if you have time, can you talk to Bambi? She just gave birth to a stillborn. And so she's like, absolutely. And then I got a text back from her a couple days later saying that, yes, Bambi recognizes that the baby died and she misses him. And she said that the hurt is helping her through it, but she really wants you. Aww. She really needs you to come out and help her grieve because the two of you did it together.
Yeah.
And she's like, Bambi loves you and she wants you out there to help her. And so this is what I spent Monday after Easter doing, is just being out there with the alpacas and crying. But I'm crying right now. But as soon as I went out there, she came running to me. Oh. And then started giving me alpaca kisses, which is just sniffs. That's what they do. They just come and sniff you and put their little faces on you. And so I'm very grateful for that beautiful experience and for getting to bond more with my alpacas. They're incredible animals. And just knowing that I can help her, and it matters to her if I'm out there to help her. But it's a beautiful thing. Life is a beautiful thing. It's very precious. And my cat is climbing all over Nicole's keyboard right now. He's trying to get into her yarn bag.
Yep, that's okay.
But it's amazing how you can bond with animals and your spirits can recognize each other and be close in that way. And I felt that with her.
That's beautiful.
And we got to grieve together and just get that much closer together. So anyway, that's
sad experience turned into a beautiful experience. Well, that's always helpful, I think.
Yeah. Life is beautiful and it's precious. And it's incredible if you just allow yourself to experience and be open to all of the things that life can give you and can show you. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I know that's hard, but that's beautiful.
Yeah. So if any of you out there are empaths or animal psychics or have that connection to their souls and you want to talk to Bambi, we can post a picture of Bambi and let her know that you guys love her and you're cheering her on, because she's a very sweet soul. She is.
That's so awesome.
So we'll go ahead and do that. And you guys can send your little condolences to my sweet little Bambi.
We'll definitely post her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
so
thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. That's my stitch. We're going to move on to happier things, guys. I promise.
Happier and creepier? Oh, man.
You know us. We got to keep it weird. Keep it weird and real for you guys. Oh, so Nicole, what's got you in stitches?
Oh gosh. No, I'm going to go quick because that was a really beautiful story. No, I was so happy to have my folks come visit again. They live up in Washington State, so it's always nice to have them down. I only see my folks and my family like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's nice.
So it was fun, and they're getting old and I love them so much. And it's crazy to see life go so fast, you know? So anyway, we spent our Easter with them. They were so hilarious because my mom tried to teach us mahjong and I showed Angela some of the video I had to take of this.
It's so cute.
Because my husband was like, you need to film this. He wants to like post, but I'm like, no, she is sweet. There's a lot of, I'm not going to explain everything that goes on behind her, but she's just not a teacher. That's just not her thing. Yeah. And she was hilarious.
I think your mom is incredible. Anybody who completely uproots themselves to experience a different culture, and I can only imagine what your mom went through just on the little things that I know. Mm-hmm. But I don't think did she know much English before she met and married your dad?
I mean, it was not perfect. She knew it because I think that's the cool part with like every other country. Like we should learn like that should be mandatory. Yeah. But they already kind of knew basic English. But yeah, so it's not a lost in translation. It's a education, common sense kind of thing, which bless her heart, she's awesome, but she's hilarious. And my hubs had the most patience. My dad is a saint. Like he is.
Well, he spent a big part of his life with her, so he understands how to be patient.
He knows, and oh my gosh, so he is the most patient man I've ever
So she was
met.
trying to teach them mahjong, but without giving them the rules and the reasoning behind the rules. She's like, okay, so there's 5 and then there's flowers and then you take 8 of these.
And you can't take these flowers and you have to stop here. Then you take 4 stacks. Why? 4.
Because that's how you do it.
That's it was amazing.
It was so cute.
I can't.
You guys were laughing so hard and you're like, I don't know why this is working.
I said that like every 5 seconds. And my dad was trying to help and Hubs was like trying to repeat and he was very patient too. But anyway, we got through it and it is the most fun. Like I got addicted. We played like all night on Sunday night and then Monday night. And that's when they had to leave. But holy cow, it was fun. And she lit up. She lit up because this is her thing. She's been playing. I remember when I was a kid, she would take me. I was like 5. She would take me to these houses and like, here's like a TV and here's some kids. Go play.
Well, I'm going to go play mahjong.
Exactly. Yes. And that was my upbringing with her. And it was hilarious. I mean, it was fun. I was fine. There was one guy that had like a Nintendo and I played Nintendo and they had the Twilight Zone set.
Ooh.
I was 7.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You were watching Twilight Zone at 7. Nice.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it was really good. It was a really nice time. And I missed Angela a lot, but
I missed you too.
Yeah, but that's okay. Now we're back and we have a really fun episode. It was funny. I told Angela the movie. I'm looking at her and I kind of had an idea of what we were doing, but it didn't come together until like a day after. I was like, oh, nice. So I themed it and it's cool. and I'm really excited.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
really excited because I obviously have no idea what it is. I never do, but
You
know,
like that.
I do. I like that. And normally the movie will give me some kind of clue.
Yes.
But we're doing the sequel to the movie that we just watched.
Exactly.
So
Do
I'm
you
like,
know?
I
No,
don't
she
know. No, because I'm like, well, it's a sequel. We talked about watching all the Paranormal Activities because I've only seen the first one.
And I like the other ones. You know what though? I didn't watch 4 and on, I think. And it looks
There's
weird.
more?
There's so many more.
Oh my goodness.
But we probably won't get that far. So
Okay.
anyway, but and you showed me a really cool stitch.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the stitch. So
Okay.
should we get stitching?
Yes.
Okay, let's get stitching. Okay, Stitchers. So for this week's stitch, I pulled out a different stitch book that I have pulled stitches from before. This is A Modern Guide to Textured Crochet by Lee Satori. And this stitch, I was like, ooh, she has them separated by summer, spring, winter, fall, and a collection of stitches.
Really?
Of textured
I like
stitches.
that.
I like that too, but I didn't like any
Seasonal.
of the spring things. So I was like, okay, we'll do a spring
Interesting.
thing, but I didn't want to. I was like, no, I don't want to do any of the spring ones.
Why? Was it weird?
No, they weren't weird. It was just, I don't know.
Didn't catch your eye.
Yeah, they didn't catch my eye.
Okay,
I was like, that's
fair.
not what I want to do. It's not what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I found this stitch, and it's called the Modified Puff Stitch.
Ooh.
And it's so simple, and it's very similar to another stitch that I tried to learn a long time ago, and I couldn't do it. And it's actually in this book. It's really similar to the bullion stitch, which
Like
I've
chicken
tried
bouillon.
to do before. But I can't do it. It involves
Why?
Because it involves 2 hooks.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah, you wrap the yarn around 2 hooks.
What the heck?
And then you pull
No,
a loop
too
through
complicated.
both.
No.
It is very
I don't-
complicated. I
I'm
keep
good.
slipping the hooks and dropping
Yeah.
them. I couldn't do it.
No.
So I found this stitch a little bit later, and it's the Modified Puff Stitch. And I was like, oh, it's a very similar look and way easier to do.
Good. I like
way
easy.
easier. So if you like the look of the bullion stitch and using 2 crochet hooks to try to do the stitch is
Being
not your
crazy.
cup of tea and it's going to drive you nuts, then try this Modified Puff Stitch. It looks beautiful and it looks very, very similar. And I think you get the same effect.
Nice.
To me, probably because I did it in a yellow yarn, it looks like a little bumblebee body. So I think it would be
and I
really
like
cute. We were
that.
talking about how you could, I think it would be cute on handbags. So if you're making a bag, you could do this little stitch and then, embroider a little antenna to make it look like a bumblebee. How cute would that be?
Adorable.
Just every once in a while. But it's a really fun textured stitch. I really like this. So the Modified Puff Stitch, basically what you're doing is you are doing a double crochet and then doing a puff stitch around that double crochet. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. You do a puff stitch around the double
Simple.
crochet. So the way that this pattern works in this book is that you're going to do a double crochet, do a puff stitch, which is yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. You do that 3 times.
So you have how many loops on your hook?
There's like 6 or 7. I
Okay.
don't know. Math. You guys do the math. There's a bunch on
Because math.
Because math. And then you yarn over, pull through all of the loops on your hook. That's your puff stitch. And then you do another double crochet in the next stitch. So you're alternating for this example. And this is just a simple little pattern. So you're practicing the Modified Puff Stitch over and over again. But basically, if you start with a double crochet and then you do a puff stitch around a double crochet and then you end with a double crochet, it's a nice little tidy way to kind of tighten up what that stitch is. And so that's what this pattern is doing, is that
Nice.
you're doing the puff stitch and then a double crochet and then the modified puff stitch and then a double crochet. So it makes the puff stitch lie on its side so that it's vertical instead of horizontal.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a really cool little thing. And then that's really
easy.
it. It's really simple.
Very cute.
But it makes a really fun little bobbly
Bobbly.
texture. Yeah.
I would want to try it with variegated yarn too, I think. I'm always thinking about
Ooh,
colors.
That would be pretty.
Yeah, because then it would kind of change the little bobbles.
Yeah,
here and
the
there.
little bobbles would change.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that.
So it's a little bit different look than like a popcorn stitch
Yeah.
or a puff stitch.
Because it lies
I
better,
mean, it is a puff stitch, but yeah, it's vertical.
Yes.
Instead of puff stitches are usually kind of
Round and
they're rounded and they're kind of slanted.
Yeah.
So this one's a vertical
straight
puff
up.
stitch.
I
Yeah.
like it. It's cute.
It's very, very cute. And I was like, it looks like a little bumblebee body to me. And so for me, I'm like, it's so springy. It's so cute. I would put it on like a little handbag and just do a couple of them every once in a while. So you could be like, oh, that's my little bee.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
That'd be cute.
Okay.
So I'll have to make a bag and do that as soon as I'm done.
You have a project.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Update on my blanket that I'm donating
Granny
for the auction.
Square Watch 2024.
So, you guys, I've mentioned it before. I was asked to donate a blanket, and it's a 60s themed auction that I'm donating this blanket for. And so I decided to do the Elise Meyer Retro Daisy Granny Square, which I've done on this podcast before. And at the time that I decided to donate this blanket, I only had 2 of them, 2 squares done. And this was like about a month ago where I was like, yeah, I'll donate something for it. And so here we are in April, and the auction is April 20th. So I'm like getting down to the wire.
And you've got to put those all together too.
Yes, but I only have 8 more squares to make. So I've been doing this like crazy. So for today's podcast, I was like, oh, I need a quick, easy stitch. This is a quick, easy stitch, and it's super cute. And I can't wait to be done with this blanket. Although I really want to keep it now because it's so freaking cute.
It is adorable.
You guys will get pictures of it. Thank you.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, I was originally going to do the sweater that Elise Meyer made, but now I'm doing this blanket.
Now we got to do a sweater after.
Yeah. I can do this pattern in my sleep, by the way, now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just like, Meh.
You have to teach me again.
I don't have to look at it anymore.
I love that.
I know it. All right, but that is it for stitch time. I can't wait for story time. I can't wait to know what we're talking about because I still don't know. She doesn't even have it up on her computer. I can't cheat and look.
No, don't look.
You guys know because you are in the future and you know things.
And you know things.
Okay. Well, it is story time.
It's story time. Yes.
Story time.
Touched up on specific haunted hotels before. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So today I'm going to travel to the United Kingdom. So this is where it was funny. I was going to try to do around the world at first of haunted hotels.
Around the world, around the world.
But then I came across just so many in the UK because it's so old and spooky.
Yes.
So this is dedicated to the UK. So it's haunted hotels.
Haunted hotels in the UK.
I think whenever I win the lottery, we're going to go to many of these.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do a tour.
I'm excited. I would love that. Yes.
The last one especially.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
So,
yes.
But first, this is crazy. So it's the first batch of hotels that are located in this little seaside town called Brighton and Hove. And it's on the south, like the southern corner almost of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I've heard of Brighton from all of my, Jane Austen stuff.
Okay.
I'm a Jane Austen.
I just have no Brighton Rock from Queen. That's all I got.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, well, there we go. So it's a small I mean, not small, but it's smallish. And there's just abundance of haunted hotels in this area. This one area.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So here we go.
What's going on, Brighton?
Yes.
Why are you so haunted?
Why are you so haunted? Well, I'm going to go into a little bit of the background.
It's not like you're York and you had people's heads on stakes everywhere.
Yeah, you can't beat York, can you? Well, so back in the 1720s and 30s, it was called Brighthelmstone. I'm going to say that. Brighthelmstone. And it's a cute town name. Anyway, and this was a place to visit for relaxation because it is on the ocean, right? People would flock here and use it as a bathing resort. Then it transformed into the center of fashion in the 1750s. So this is a very old town, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Richard Russell published reading material about medical sea bathing cures.
Ooh.
And so people were like, let's jump in the ocean.
Yay.
Woo! By 1783, it was a bustling seaside town. George, Prince of Wales, would frequent the seaside town.
Nice.
In the 1800s, Brighton and Hove began to transform into a luxurious town with high-quality houses as investors were trying to turn the area into an elegant London by the sea.
Ooh.
Yeah, when the opening of the railway in the 1840s happened, Brighton and Hove were attracting all types of travelers versus the rich and prosperous, so working-class day trippers would frequent the area as well. Today, the city flourishes with many vacationers, and along with Worthing and Littlehampton. Side note, saying towns of England or of the United Kingdom is like Boston, where I look at it and you pronounce it and it's the wrong thing. So sorry if I butcher anything.
That's okay. We are not known for being able to pronounce things.
It reminds me of, I was in Boston and I was on a
Did you
train.
park the car in the Scotland Yard?
No.
Did I say that right?
You said Scotland. Was
I
it
did say Harvard. Harvard.
Now
We're
you're
in the
combining.
UK. I'm like,
That was awesome. I love it. Anyway, yeah, Worcester. That's what I thought it was. It's Worcester. And I was like, ooh, I'm glad I didn't say it.
oh,
So
yeah.
that's where I guess this. So anyway, it says Littlehampton. I hope I said that right. That's how it is spelled. Okay. It's in West Sussex, but they make up the second most populous built up area of Southeast England. So it's hopping.
This joint is jumping. It's really jumping. Come in, cats, and check your hats. I mean, this spot is jumping.
I love that.
Joint. The joint is jumping because that's the name of the song. I need to remember words better. I can't word today.
Words and numbers.
That's cute.
Look, a bird.
Squirrel.
The Royal Albion.
It's beautiful.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
This was built in 1826 and is a Regency-style hotel with traditional decorations and furnishing. But in 1998, a huge fire broke out in the kitchen and spread through a ventilation shaft, destroying the rooms on the upper floors. The hotel was fully restored afterwards, but sadly, in July of 2023, another fire broke out in the hotel, and East Sussex Fire and Rescue Service claims it was due to a discarded cigarette. So it's currently closed. That's what I want to tell you all. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but yeah, it has, like, you can see
damage.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no like upper floor.
Yeah.
You can see right through it to the sky and the windows and stuff. Yeah.
So sadly, if you go here, you can't. Okay, so just walk by it.
We can't stay there.
Can't stay there. But from Ghost Walk of the Lanes, here are the spooky stories when the hotel was in operation.
Ooh.
So former financier Harry Preston still haunts the hotel as his presence is felt in the function room that bears his name. Many hotel guests and staff have spoken of extreme and unaccountable drops in temperature in this area. Some people have witnessed doors closing on their own, even when a chair was jammed against the handle. So how does that happen?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
That's okay.
It's paranormal.
It's
hey.
paranormal. Hey, yep. The elevator will also begin moving up and down.
No, I don't like that
without
one.
any reason. It just moves.
I don't like. I have been trapped in an elevator before. But like, and I wasn't scared because
Why?
Because it was
You're crazy.
It was at my old university. There were only 2 floors, and I was just being lazy and didn't want to take the stairs.
It
So I
tried to
just
teach
rode
you a
in the
lesson.
elevator, and it just got stuck in between the floors. And I'm like,
look what
I'm not
happened.
going to fall more than 5 feet here, so it's not
But
going to
what
be that big
happens
of a
if you
deal.
were trapped like all day long?
I would hate that.
See?
Yeah,
It's
that
the
would be
worst.
terrifying.
Okay. I hate
But
them.
okay, yeah, all right. We don't
Take the stairs next
take
time,
the
Angela.
stairs. Yeah.
In 1989, a group of workmen were having a tea break in the workshop beneath the Harry Preston room when they suddenly heard the distinct clatter of stones or pebbles being scattered about the floor beneath their feet.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, the men searched to see if plaster or fittings had fallen, but they couldn't find anything. So it was just the sound.
Oh, how weird.
Nothing
That
was
would drive
falling.
me crazy.
What's going on? Earlier in 1985, an engineer was working alone in one of the hotel suites when he was struck hard on one side of the head by an unseen force.
No. No.
Smack.
I don't like that. Don't
mean?
smack me in that. That's so mean.
so mean.
Don't hit people.
What a mean person.
That's also a very like cowardly thing to do because
True.
it's not like, I mean, you're going to get away with it because nobody can see you.
Maybe he like knew the person. That'd be creepy.
Ooh.
Well, his ear remained swollen several days afterwards.
Dude.
So
That
he
was
got
a
hit
hard
hard.
smack.
A visible smack.
Oh, ghosty.
Yeah, no, he wasn't happy. Or she. Who knows?
Ooh.
Apparently, the Royal Albion harbors a disturbing secret. Friday, June 22nd, 1888. Edmund Gurney was a frequent visitor of the Albion, and that evening he had dinner alone and retired early. The next day, by 2 p.m., he had not responded to repeated knocking, first by the maid, then by the manager. They eventually had to break in, and they found Gurney dead on his bed. His mouth and nose were covered by a sponge bag, and a small bottle of colorless liquid was found by his bedside.
Ooh. Oh.
It was known Gurney suffered from insomnia, so he did rely on opiates. But was it Gurney or who used too much, or was he murdered?
Right.
So they were able to identify his body by a letter found in his coat, inviting a friend to join him. The friend was Robert Johnston Stevenson, journalist and black magic practitioner.
Ooh.
He was also alleged to have been a former army surgeon. He was also one of the main suspects for being Jack the Ripper.
Oh, yeah. That makes this so much more juicy.
Right?
So, but Jack, okay, he's not like the MO that for Jack the Ripper, because Jack the Ripper went after prostitutes.
Women, sure. But it could have been a friend. Maybe he was just having fun with other people. Who knows? Because this is in Brighton, not where all the Jack the Ripper stuff happened.
Right. That's also true.
Yeah. Who knows?
Interesting.
There's a whole
we should do a Jack the Ripper thing.
I want to, and I'm waiting till the anniversary. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited because I have theories. Like, I definitely know who I think it is.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
So yeah, there's a rabbit hole of somebody who went down and tried to track this person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The friend?
Stevenson. Yeah. He highly believes it's him.
Oh,
so maybe we'll get into that later. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they kind of think that he could have murdered Gurney. But next, we're going to go to another hotel. Look.
Oh, that's cute.
Tiny.
I like the little scalloping
Yes.
on the, that's
Very
cool.
old. So this is the Regency Hotel. This has more of a guest house feel, and the haunted stories have been passed around about this hotel since the 1980s. The owners aren't too fond of the ghost stories, but I wonder if that's what brings people to it. So who knows? Those who have experienced something supernatural all claim to see the same slim, gray-haired lady who silently walks through the hotel walls. I would want to see that.
That's fun. That's how you definitely know it's a ghost, because they just go through the walls.
The wall. Like, okay, that's not real. Most speculate it is a Victorian guest house landlady. And apparently when people walk by the hotel outside, they'll see a figure fall from an upstairs window, then vanish.
No. I don't want to see people fall.
It reminds me of like the Haunted Mansion, though. You know, if you just like see that same ghost just over and over again.
Oh, like it's a projection,
Yes.
like the Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
But yeah, so this
like it's 11:55. Cue the lady.
There's
falling
that
off the
show.
thing.
That's that show I was telling you about. Was it called Ghosts or something? But it's a funny show where the people move into his house. I told you about it. Right?
Yeah, Ghosts.
Yes, yeah. Ghosts,
I love
right?
Ghosts.
Okay,
Yeah,
the British version.
The British version. I haven't watched it, but it
Okay.
is on. It is on like Peacock or something.
Yeah.
I have it. I want to watch it.
So I just started it. I haven't seen any else, but it was funny because it was this one ghost every night at 3 a.m. She screams and she falls and down the window. So they changed the clocks so that she falls earlier and then they can sleep. I loved it. Anyway.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So this apparently was the disabled daughter of a cobbler who fell to her death from the same window more than 100 years ago.
Oh, wow.
In 2006, photographer Anna Pierce was staying at the Regency Hotel.
Did she get a picture of it?
No, she was there to take photos for the haunted Brighton book by Alan Myrtle. But when in the early hours of the morning, she was aroused, she was sleeping there, right? To an intense sensation of a presence. Then abruptly, her bed began to shake.
Ooh.
Yeah, spooky. She didn't get a picture though.
Oh.
All right. We're going to go on to the next hotel.
Oh, nice. That's
huge,
pretty
yeah.
too. Yeah. I love old buildings.
The architecture is
yeah,
so cool.
It's just really neat.
I agree.
You know what I'm thinking of? Because like I'm looking at it, it's got a ton of windows, and I'm just thinking of the window tax. Because
that's funny.
you know, in Great Britain they had window tax. Okay.
That's a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
So this is called the Hilton Brighton Metropole. This hotel was built in 1890, has 340 bedrooms, and is currently the UK's largest residential conference center in the south of England.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Hilton has operated the building since 2000, but back in the 60s or 70s, a 2-story flat block was built on top of the hotel for residential use. So you see that they're
Yeah.
However, a great deal of poltergeist activity has been reported in this hotel from Ghost Walk of the Lanes. Light fittings and chandeliers have often been seen shaking violently, although the air has remained quite still. On one occasion, a waitress was startled to see a tablecloth and its contents suddenly shoot about 10 feet in the air. Mean. There have also been instances of extreme drops in temperature preceding a phantom sound of a baby crying, but no one can find the source.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, baby crying, no. Drops of temperature have also been reported in the 6th floor vestibule area where many years ago a former night porter died. He was known to be very fond of the hotel.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. In 2000... Okay, sorry, everybody. I put the year down and then I didn't add the last number. So I'm going to guess 2000. Who knows? It's in the 2000s.
In the year 2000.
I love that. A hotel guest found himself chatting with an old man that he assumed to be another guest. Later, he found out that he was not a living being. It was the ghost of the night porter.
I love those. I love it when people have conversations with the ghost.
Yeah.
And then they figure out later that I was talking to a ghost.
Yes.
I love those
And
ones. Those are my favorites.
I just wonder through like what's going on in their mind.
I would poop my pants as soon as I realized. I would be like,
what do I do? What do I do? Yeah, I would have to go lay down after that, I think.
yeah.
All right. Next hotel. We're going through a lot of these because it's one little town. So
Yeah.
Isn't that
These,
cool?
'cause these are all in Brighton.
Yes. Brighton and Hove.
Brighton
so
and
it's
Hove.
two like little towns kind of joined together. Okay.
That's so crazy.
Yes.
Oh, that's super cute.
Right?
It's
Isn't
like
that cute?
right on
The
is
water.
It is on the water. It's on that like bridge thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
I think so.
It
Maybe it's
looks like it.
perspective, but
Yeah.
I'll explain a little bit about the land on this. This is cool. So we now head over to the Old Ship Hotel, which is Brighton's oldest hotel, built on land owned by the Priory of Bartholomew in 1120.
Oh
It's
my
old.
gosh.
Yes, that's
that
why.
is insane.
1120.
That is so old.
The site was then used as a marketplace in the 17th century once the priory disappeared completely in the mid-16th century. It is believed the name Old Ship is derived from being partly constructed from ship's timbers that can still be seen in the original cellars.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Before it became a large, luxurious hotel, it was a simple structure called the Ship Tavern in Brighthelmstone. The first record of an inn, the Ship, owned by Richard and John Gilham, was in 1559. Still so old. The next century and a half of a lot of retail shops and cottages were built along that coastline until 1705, when a great storm swept away 113 of them at the bottom of the cliff. This left the Old Ship Inn in the prominent position it enjoys today. So there were things around it that like blocked it. Gone.
Oh, that's crazy.
So then it's like right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it has a really good spot. So somehow maybe
I'm like trying to do the math of how old this place is. I'm just going to say it's close to 1,000 years old.
Yeah, almost.
It's like pretty close. 1100 and it's
1120.
1120.
So what? It's 2024.
Yeah.
900 years.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Dang, man. Okay. In the late 1700s, the assembly room began to be constructed for the hotel, which contains a ballroom, card, and tea rooms. The ballroom set the scene for a few balls in the 1800s. 1831, violinist Niccolo Paganini
Paganini.
gives a
Yay.
concert in December from the balcony in the ballroom, which later is renamed after him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall for that concert, right?
Wouldn't that been so cool?
Oh.
In 1895, the hotel becomes modernized. In 2009, the hotel celebrates its 450th anniversary. Sold. Now, many other prominent people have visited the Old Ship Inn, including Winston Churchill and Charles Dickens.
Ooh.
Now, some years ago, a young chambermaid was working in the West Wing of the Old Ship Hotel when she was startled by two apparitions. As she entered one of the bedrooms that she thought was empty, she came across a man and a woman sitting on the bed. She felt really embarrassed and apologized immediately, and then they vanished before her eyes.
Oh, no.
In 1985, a night porter was cleaning the stage area when he was startled to see a vague, misty figure glide, rather than walk, along the wall to his left.
Oh, on the wall?
Along the wall.
Oh, along the wall.
Not
next
on the
to
wall.
Okay.
Along the wall.
Oh, weird,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It then took on a human
cracked.
form. I love that. But he was unable to distinguish if it was a man or a woman.
Oh, okay. So it was a shadow, and then it took on a human form as it was gliding along
As it was
the
just
wall.
gliding along the wall.
And I almost missed that because I was focused on the fact that my voice cracked. We are 12-year-olds today. I think it was during the break. Nicole's voice cracked, and now mine's doing it. And I'm just like, whatever.
Whatever. I don't care.
Oh man, that's insane to see the form just like change and morph.
Yeah.
Oh,
Freaking spooky.
yeah.
Then the following year, 2 porters were chatting in the main foyer when they became aware of a strange mist emanating around the lower part of the stairs.
Oh.
Then they watched in amazement as the mist began to billow and grow to a height of 3 feet. Then the form of a small child appeared within the coiling vapor.
No kid. Oh,
The child
buddy.
looked disheveled and forlorn, and they could tell it was softly weeping.
Oh.
Then, in the matter of seconds, the mist faded and the sad child disappeared as well.
Oh, that's a residual. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Creepy, right?
Yeah.
Many visitors report seeing other ghostly apparitions and hearing strange noises. Some report seeing a ghostly figure in the hotel's restaurant, while others see an eerie figure in a long black cloak across varying parts of the hotel.
Ooh.
Should we go here?
Yeah. What's it? Yeah.
The Ship Hotel.
The Ship Hotel. Yes, I want to because it's
Looks
it's
cool,
almost 1,000 years old,
Yeah.
and it's really cool
With the original parts. That's
Yeah.
what's cool too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. We go to, I'm going to show you a picture.
Ooh, that's very modern compared to what we were just doing.
Yes.
It's still probably old, but it looks way more modern.
Yeah, it's definitely mom routing because I don't even have a year for this one. So we go to a smaller little boutique with cute rooms called the Southern Belle. It straddles the boundary between Brighton and Hove, and that's all I could find about it in general. But there are some creepy stories and haunts inside because it's known as one of Britain's most haunted places.
Ooh.
Inside, most will find the ghost form of a man and his dog as they wander the bar area. This little puppy. Then there is a young girl that haunts the cellar. Apparently, there are secret tunnels below the pub where patrons of the beautiful church that sit opposite of the hotel would sneak across during all-night vigils.
I love it. That's hilarious.
So there's a theory the tunnels are probably drawing that strange energy into the hotel.
Yeah.
All right, but that's all I got. Okay, so we're getting out of Brighton and Hove. We're going to Rye, and we're going to apparently one of the most haunted hotels, and in the United Kingdom. Okay, and they claim this to be. I don't know because again, there's so many haunted places here.
Yeah.
But this is called the Mermaid Inn.
Oh.
And it was established in the 12th century. Another old
one.
But the current building dates from 1420 and has 16th century additions in the two-door style. But the cellars built in 1156 are still original.
Wow.
Yes. Another.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I want to be around things that are like that old.
Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun? I
would
think
be
it'd be
so
so much
cool.
fun. I miss it too. I think this was, I was getting nostalgia. I was showing some photo books to my parents when they were visiting, and they're all from England. And I think that kind of set that.
That's, yeah.
So I miss it. All right. During medieval times, it was a notable ale house that brewed its own ale and charged a penny a night for lodging. It's located on Mermaid Street, which was once the town's main road. In the 1420s, as mentioned earlier, the inn was rebuilt and then underwent further renovation in the 16th century, but much of which still stands today. So it's still old. It's still 1500.
Yeah. It's still old.
It's still very old. In the 1730s and 40s, the notorious Hawkhurst gang, a criminal organization known for smuggling, would use the Mermaid Inn as their secondary location to meet up. They would use a myriad of secret tunnels connected to the inn. By 1770, the building ceased to function as an inn, and in 1847 was used as a residential home. Then in 1913, it became a club. 1945, during World War II, it was a garrison for Canadian officers. And by 1951, the Mermaid Inn was listed as Grade 2 by English Heritage, which helped characterize the building as particularly important. So there's like these certain grades,
This building is particularly important.
Particularly.
Not just important.
No.
But particularly.
Thank you. Yeah.
Particularly.
Very particular. Okay. But it finally functioned as an inn in 1993 when the current owner purchased the building. Today, it only has 31 rooms, but many notable people have visited the inn, like Johnny Depp, Judi Dench, Andy Garcia, Pierce Brosnan, Charlie Chaplin, and even Elizabeth I. So tons of people. You got to look. There's a wall of their photos.
A wall of famous
cool.
people.
Yep. But as I said earlier, the Mermaid Inn is more infamous for its haunts, which at least 5 of the rooms known to have their own spooky tales.
Ooh, we got to spend 5 nights there so we can spend a night in each room.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
So the James room is pretty popular because a lady in white or gray has been seen sitting by the fireplace. The rumor is that if you leave your clothes on the chair overnight, you will find them wet because of her.
Okay, well, we have to have some sacrificial clothes. And just like, we'll just put it like a dry swimsuit out. And then,
perfect.
Yeah.
Easy. I like that. Now, the King's Mill room used to have a rocking chair that would rock independently.
Oh, I don't like that.
And then suddenly will go cold for no reason. The inn removed the chair because it caused so many disturbances with guests. Like, why? Why you keep it in there? No.
That's funny.
The spirits of the Hawkhurst smugglers have made their presence on the grounds at night. In room 16, there are claims to see a duel involving 2 men of unknown date and origin. However, clothing is described as 16th century. They end up fighting through some of the nearby rooms, but one of the men was killed and then dragged into an adjacent room and thrown through a trap door into the dungeon below. What? So people see a reoccurrence. I don't think they see the whole thing, but
would you be
parts.
like ducking and like
Yes.
the guns come out? Like, ah!
It's like that's Haunted
it's like
Mansion.
a ghost.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
duel.
It's Haunted Mansion. The duel.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
Weird.
I don't know if I want to witness that.
Well, I'm wondering if anybody would be brave enough to stand in the path of like
The ghosts.
Yeah, and see if a ghost bullet hit you, what happens. I don't
Nothing?
think anybody should volunteer to do that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's my
You're very
brain.
curious. I love that.
I know.
Like, what happens by
brain
a
is going
ghost
to-
bullet?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Then in room 10, there's the man who walks through the bathroom wall into the main room.
Nope.
A couple reported seeing that.
Nope. Don't go into the bathroom if I'm no.
Yeah.
No, don't go
No,
in the
don't go.
bathroom. Well, he's leaving the bathroom.
So they freaked out. They scared them so badly they ran down to the lounge for refuge for the night. I would too. I'm like, what the hell's walking through my
He's
room?
in my bathroom. That to me is very violating.
Right?
Like, I'd rather deal
Your
with the
private
dueling
place?
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things happen in the bathroom that you don't need to be a part of. Just stay away
I don't
from
need you
there.
spying on me.
Yeah.
Then there's the female spirit who was supposedly the girlfriend of one of the smugglers. It is said she was killed by his fellow gang members as they feared she knew too much and would expose them. So they see her. ghost.
Sorry, that's such a
Terrible.
lame, terrible.
Oh man,
thing.
it's the 17th century or it's 18th century. People were stupid back then about women. Anyway,
Yeah.
many unexplained light anomalies have been recorded in the middle of the night. On one occasion, an employee was tending to the fireplace when all of the bottles on the shelf at the other end of the room fell off.
No.
It caused the employee to resign.
Oh,
Too scary.
too scary.
Yeah.
Oh.
Glass falling on you. Yeah, no.
Yeah, especially if it was like shattering.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go up northeast and we're going to go to Alnmouth, Northumberland.
Ooh.
And it's the Schooner Hotel.
Schooner Hotel.
So
Yay.
that's what it looks like today.
Okay, very quaint.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the Mermaid Inn claims to be the most haunted hotel in the UK, but it may have to bow down to this next one because it boasts more than 3,000 sightings of ghosts and 60
Wow.
individual apparitions.
Wow.
60.
That's amazing.
60.
That is a lot,
That's
Nicole.
too many.
That's amazing.
So again, this is the Schooner Hotel in Alnmouth, Northumberland. It was originally built in the 17th century, hosting many smugglers, murderers, and vagabonds. The hotel was extended in the early 19th century. Sadly, it's been in decline for a number of years under the current owners. This is crazy. I found a couple articles. So May 2023, the owner pleaded guilty to 9 charges to breaches of fire safety regulation. Yeah. Like, didn't care. And then in November of 2023, the hotel was issued a hygiene emergency prohibition notice by environmental health officers.
Dude.
The hotel was allowed to stay open, but the kitchen and bar had to be shut down because They had a rat infestation.
Oh, okay. I don't want to stay there. That
Yeah.
sucks.
No.
Why? Dude, you have like a really cool opportunity here and people will come to you.
People will come.
You have to take care
Yeah.
of, you should not be in the hotel business if you don't believe in
Hygiene
taking care and hospitality. Just
Hospitality.
like, that's the whole thing.
About hotels. Yeah. Some people just aren't good at it, apparently. Yeah. So even though that's pretty scary in itself, let's touch up on those 60 ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. First tale of the hotel takes place on a summer night in the 18th century when a group of drunk sailors broke out in a fight in the hotel. The violence poured out onto the street, and while going at it crazily, a tall, broad, and wraith-like figure emerged from the sea mist that surrounded the town.
That is
Spooky.
very ominous.
Yes.
Like, wow.
He then pulled out 2 pistols from his trench coat and shot the sailors in the face, which killed them instantly.
Okay, you know what is playing in my head right now? What would you do with the drunken sailor? What would you do with the drunk? Apparently shoot him in the face.
Shoot them in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Witnesses stood in horror as they watched this creepy figure walk towards the lifeless bodies, grasp the collars of the blood-soaked corpses, and drag them into the darkness.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That's crazy.
I mean, could be a tall tale, obviously, but this is
Yeah.
what I've learned. Police and locals put on an extensive search for the sailors, but they were never found.
Do you know what I'm thinking right now? Because my brain is hopping all over the place, you guys. It's a weird place to be today. But I'm thinking of like Loki, and they're like the TVA, and they're just coming and taking the guys out and taking them with them. Yeah, they're gone now
Because they went through the TVA.
yeah.
Oh, they're in time and
Yeah.
space. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
They were
you go.
anomalies.
There
they
you
needed
go.
to be
They shouldn't
deleted.
be fighting. They're going to cause something. There you go.
Yeah. That's what
I like
happened.
that. I like that.
That is the theory.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Love
We're
it.
working with it.
Okay, good.
If you haven't seen Loki, watch it. It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's a good show. Apparently, in recent years, there are reports of a tall, broad, skulking, faceless figure in the hotel. He tends to slowly thud his way down corridors while dragging lifeless carcasses behind him.
It's the guy. What? He's there? He's still haunting it?
Apparently, people see it. That's why they created this story, I'm guessing, is because, yeah. Anyway.
Whoa.
You guys have theories, let me know, because that's crazy. All right. Later in history, a young woman fell in love with a French sailor while watching him from the port. He had to dock for several days while awaiting cargo, and both enjoyed their time together. The young lady was smitten. The night before sailing off, he surprised the girl with a suite at the schooner hotel. They had a wonderful romantic evening, and when she awoke, the sailor was gone. She ran to the harbor, but it was too late. He was gone. Which, with much grief, she made her way back to the suite and took her own life.
No, lame. I don't believe it. Come on.
The cleaning ladies found her the next morning hanging from the rafters. Many have reported seeing her spirit weeping as she glides through the corridors in the middle of the night. Yeah. Again, these could be just stories of, we're creating to make it spooky, but who knows?
Yeah.
They're cool. 60 ghosts, though.
Well, no, I mean, I believe that there's a sad woman ghost there, but
Yeah.
like the story
That
behind
story
it
could be
no,
totally BS. Yeah.
Make it a stronger story.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
don't
That
like
happens a lot.
she was so forlorn over her sailor that just left that she had to end her life. No, women are not that dumb.
I love that. All right. 2 staff members witnessed a dark figure dart out of room 20, then banged into the fire doors directly opposite. The staff were about to run in terror, but then the dark figure turned to face them and headed quickly in their direction.
No.
Yep. Soon,
my
more
God.
staff, they, the staff was freaked out. More staff came and they were sent upstairs to check the corridors, but they couldn't find anybody there.
That is like a chaotic thing. It's hilarious
It's
at
like
first.
Ghostbusters in my head.
It's hilarious at first because the dark thing's like boom,
Yeah,
running
like
into things, and you're like,
following,
whoa. And then if it comes and runs at you, no, that's where
I'm good. I don't need that. No. Then in rooms 16 and 17, many report apparition type sightings, and they also report being awakened in the middle of the night by an overpowering smell of burning.
Ooh. Was there a fire at some
Maybe
point?
it could have been. I mean, it's old.
Yeah.
Again. Figures have been seen standing at the end of the beds, leaving guests paralyzed in fear. And it takes several minutes before the figures vanish.
No, do not stand at the end of my bed. Like, that is a thing. Don't do anything to me while I'm sleeping. Don't stand at the end of my bed. Just don't.
That.
I hate it. It's the worst.
Mm-hmm. Other ghostly apparitions lurk in the corridors right outside these rooms. That corridor also has the presence of a young boy because he goes around and knocks on all the doors down the corridor. Typical little boy.
Yeah.
Rooms 28, 29, and 30 hold a variety of strange sounds like knocks, bangs, and even whispering. People report a sense of dread, dizziness, and sickness here in these rooms. And as soon as they leave, they feel well again. Childish laughter has been heard from inside the bathroom and will stop as soon as guests try to investigate.
Oh, that's weird.
Bathroom again. But room 28 seems to be the focus of most of the haunts. Stories of suicides, murders, and family massacres have occurred in this specific room. So this is
that room has evil energy.
Trigger warning. This is a crazy story. And I couldn't find any more information besides this one website, which I always try to find, but who knows? So I couldn't find this exact year. It sounds like it was still in about 18th or 19th century. But sometime in December, a family of 4 were staying at the Schooner Hotel. Around midnight, things began to quiet down around the hotel. The landlord walked around to make his final checks and then made his way to his own quarters. Around 6 a.m., the landlord was jolted awake by the screams of the morning maid. He rushed out of bed and down the corridor to investigate. He stopped at the room where the young family was staying, room 28. The door was ajar, so he pushed it open and saw the maid on the floor, shivering in the fetal position on the ground, crying hysterically.
Oh, no.
The previous evening, the family requested a large tankard of milk to be delivered in the morning, and the maid dropped it all over the ground in shock. He looked up, found the mutilated bodies of the entire family lying lifeless on their beds, their hands clasped together at their waists as if they were positioned that way. The faces were unrecognizable, beaten, and bloody. Their bodies were naked with multiple lacerations, and vital organs lay at their sides, and the bedsheets soaked with blood.
Oh my gosh.
They were massacred. There were fingers and limbs on the bedside tables, and piles of guts were scattered around the room.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The landlord fainted, and once he came back around, he alerted the police. The murderer was never found, and it was suggested it was a local merchant because earlier he made a business deal with the father of the family that left him in financial ruin. But due to lack of evidence, the merchant was released.
Like, why would the merchant disembowel the whole
this was
family
someone
like
crazy.
that? Yeah. Like it sounds morbid, but it is morbid, but it sounds to me that like it was somebody that was practicing or just very interested in the human organs and what's going like
cutting things off to see how they work. No empathy. Like there's something wrong in their brain. Creepy. Well, guests will report the sounds of children's voices and crying, women's screams, an overwhelming sense of fear, and a feeling of an unseen presence in the room with them.
Here's my question. How did nobody wake up while that was going on? That must have made
we have that
so
question
much
about
noise.
so many crazy cases.
Yeah.
So no idea.
Oh, wow.
Other reports are of a soldier who walks the corridors and a maid that appears on the stairs. Mark Fisher from Paranormal Daily News stayed the night at the hotel, and here's what he experienced, and this article was written in 2023. 10 years ago, I naively booked a room thinking all the tales were false. Late at night, I braved a walk around the lonely and dimly lit corridors. I was the only guest. The only other person present was the duty manager sleeping a few corridors away. After an hour of searching and seeing nothing, I decided to head back to my room. Suddenly, a bright light began to materialize directly in front of me. At first, it was about the size of a small coin, and it slowly grew, twisting and shifting into a distorted spiral.
Wow.
It grew to around 20 centimeters in height and about 10 centimeters in width. I watched in horror as this curious light suddenly shot past my right side, spinning and turning as it moved. The bizarre light stopped momentarily and then slowly drifted toward the wall before sinking into the wallpaper and vanishing.
Weird, dude.
Right? I stood for what seemed like an eternity while my brain tried to make sense of what I saw. Eventually, I began the short journey back to my room. Every few seconds, I glanced over my shoulder, wondering if the mysterious light would reappear. It didn't. I spent the rest of the night unable to sleep, eager for morning to arrive.
Dude,
Spooky.
that's cool.
Light thing.
Like when you launched into that story, I was thinking of room, what is it, 1408?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah,
I like
that's a
that
good
one. All right. So I'll have to do a part 2 of haunted hotels in the UK because there's so many more. But I'm going to end in Edinburgh with the Dalhousie. Dalhousie. I should have looked this up, guys. Dalhousie.
Yeah, I like Dalhousie because it makes it like dollhouse.
Dalhousie. Yeah, okay. Dalhousie Castle Hotel and Spa, which this is the one we are going to visit for sure.
It's beautiful.
It's a castle.
I will go there.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a spa.
It's beautiful.
I
We
love
have
it.
to go.
Yeah. This castle dates back to the 13th century, belonging
Wow.
to the Ramsays. They held possession of Dalhousie longer than any other family has retained possession of a castle in Scotland.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool in its own
Yeah.
self. It is situated 8 miles south of Edinburgh, and the enormous thick walls at the foundation level and the vaults are what remain of the original building. Main parts of the present structure still date back to 1450, made from red stone. Throughout the centuries, there have been various additions and modifications. The drum tower that dates back to the 15th century has a well at ground level that supplied the castle and still yields potable water.
Wow.
Yes. Originally, the only way you could reach the castle was by crossing a drawbridge over a deep, dry moat. So that's pretty stereotypical. I love that.
Yeah.
But the moat was re-excavated during the castle's conversion into a hotel. There was a dungeon that prisoners were held in. They were lowered into the bottle dungeon by rope, and you can still see the score marks of the ropes and the stonework.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, once prisoners were in there, they could not escape because the walls were 11 feet thick.
Oh,
11
wow.
feet, guys.
That's thick.
That is super thick. In 1925, the castle became a private preparatory building, Dalhousie School, and it moved later in the 1950s. A school did. And the castle lay uninhabited after this until 1972, when the castle was converted into a hotel. Now, spooky facts about this place. In 1342, Sir Alexander Ramsay was trying to fight Henry IV from storming the castle, and it took days and days. But
Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah, exactly. But then later he was abducted and he was starved to death at the Hermitage Castle. That was Sir Alexander Ramsay. His remains were recovered 1.5 centuries after passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, he was given a
gosh.
proper funeral at that point, but Ramsay has been witnessed to haunt the castle ever since. He did not want to leave his home. And in similar fashion, there are 2 differing stories about the ghost of Lady Catherine. The first tale is that in the 16th century, one of the Ramsay wives discovered that her husband was fooling around with a Lady Catherine. She got revenge by imprisoning her and starving her to death in one of the upstairs chambers. First version. The second version is that Lady Catherine was 16 years old and she was banished to the Midlothian Castle Tower, same place, after being caught with the stable hand. Here she also starves to death, but with a broken heart. So either way, we know Lady Catherine was
Starved to death.
imprisoned and starved to death. And so she still haunts the Castle Hotel and is known as the Gray Lady because she is seen as a gray, misty figure. Andrew Sharp, the castle piper, they have a castle bagpiper. This is the coolest thing. Yes. He's seen her stalks the corridors and turrets all the time. She has even appeared at many weddings, and she was caught on camera in 2004.
Do you have a video? That's so cool, Nicole. Oh my gosh, you guys, you have to see this picture because it's
It's
so
her.
cool.
Isn't that crazy?
You guys, it's just a full mist figure that is like
She's right up
that's
on that
so
camera.
Crazy.
See that? She looks like she's looking that way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's so cool.
Spooky.
Good one to end on, Nicole.
I know, right?
You're so smart.
Oh, many people who have see her believe she is staff because she is wearing a gray dress with puff sleeves. She's got sharp features and tiny feet and little pointed shoes. So you can see her a lot of the time, like full figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Creepy.
It's so cool.
Others report seeing a woman in their rooms waving from the windows or just sitting at the end of their beds.
Don't sit on the bed.
We're going to stay there.
My bed alone.
She's going to sit on your bed, Angela. But she's the most active ghost, and the reason why ghost tours are now regular at the castle.
Nice.
Yeah, she's not only seen, but heard, as guests will report hearing a rustling dress swish by, and she will also tap on doors and shoulders.
Well, you can tap my shoulder. That's fine.
That's okay.
Nicole's been grabbed. Are you
My
okay with
skirt,
being
I'm okay.
tapped?
Yes, I'm okay. Apparently, she hates bagpipes because whenever that piper is near, they claim that the bagpipes tend to play out of tune.
I love it. It's not that he's a bad piper.
It's her. It's a ghost.
It's her.
It's a ghost.
She's messing with my pipes. It's not me.
It's not me. Either way, the staff claim that all the ghosts are harmless at Dalhousie. What's cool is if you stay longer than a few days, you can take a 5-day falconry course, which is so cool.
That's cool.
Yes. Or even take up archery.
Ooh, I love archery.
Me too. And if you get married there, they have an owl trained to bring the rings to the best man in the chapel.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard. Somebody please get married there so we can go and watch the owl.
Let's like renew vows.
Yeah. Okay, we'll renew vows. That's the coolest thing. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the Dalhousie Castle.
I love it. That picture is just like chef's kiss.
Right?
It's amazing.
You can see a face. Man.
It's a profile, but you see her face.
Yeah.
And it's insane. And there's like two people in the background that are just like
doing their own thing. Crazy, right?
That's cool.
Anyway.
Thank you for bringing me some joy today.
Yay,
I
my
love
pleasure.
it. I love haunted places.
Me
Do
too.
you guys love haunted places? We want to know. You can email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com. You can also jump over to any of our social media platforms and give us a quick little hello. How you doing? We love talking to our Stitchers. We love connecting with you. So please reach out today and just give us a quick little shout out. If you've been to any of these places or if you have a haunted place that you want us to cover, we love taking ideas from our listeners. So let us know today. You can also jump over to podbean.com and read any show notes from either this episode or any previous episodes. You can also click on a little button in the upper right-hand corner that says Become a Patron and join our little patron army. We send you guys stuff. We give you shout outs. We give you special little trinkets that we make. And it's just another way to connect with us and another way to show your appreciation for our little podcast. It is just the two of us that do this for you guys.
Just the two of us.
Building castles in the sky. Are those the words? I'm messing up
I
words
love it,
today.
though. Let's build castles in the sky.
Okay, I love it.
Okay.
So anyway, join our little patron army, and I think I've said all of the things. Yes,
all the things.
Okay,
You did great.
Good.
You're so good at this.
This was so fun. Thank you for bringing some joy to me.
I love ghosts.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. How many times more can I say I love it? I don't know. We'll see because we have a movie to talk about.
Oh yes.
So we get to movie time?
Yes,
it's movie time.
This week's movie review, Paranormal Activity 2, released in 2010, IMDb rating 5.7 stars, and synopsis. After experiencing what they think are a series of break-ins, a family sets up security cameras around their home only to realize that the events unfolding before them are more sinister than they seem.
Do, do, do. So. My issues with this are babies. I don't like when things happen and don't do paranormal movies with babies. I don't like that. And I don't like that something happened to the dog.
They're able. Yeah. Well, yeah. That just gives you more empathy for the movie. I think that's a cop out, but
Yeah. And okay. And here's my other thing. So Okay. I'm like trying to sort out my thoughts here
She's
because
got a lot.
I'm diving into the things I don't like. And let me
All
talk
right,
about
and
things
you
that I
guys
do
probably
like.
have seen this, so we're gonna do a lot of spoiler alerts.
Yeah. So what I do like is that we do have a little bit more explanation as to what happened in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie takes place before the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get to see Katie and Mika again. And this is kind of before things start happening, and then also explains kind of why things start happening, kicking
That's
up
why
more
I
for
like
them.
this.
And you see why the picture, I'm like, it was much cooler when it was the
A
demon just
mystery?
showing up like with the picture there, and it wasn't them doing that.
Oh, I
And
like that. I kind of
No.
liked how it all tied together, and it just keeps tying together in the
And
next
like,
one.
what did he think was going to happen? Yes, he needed to clear his wife. I get it. He needed to clear his wife. And obviously he knew that it was going to jump to the sister. But like, what did he think was going to happen if it was after his baby?
Right? It wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
It wouldn't stop. So yeah, he believed, but he only had, what was her name? Maria? Oh, I forgot her name.
Martine.
Martine. So he just had to listen to somebody. He didn't know what to do, and Martine told him what to do, and so he just did it. He didn't have any, thoughts about consequences. He just wanted to save his baby and his wife.
Yeah.
So if he had a little more clarity, yeah, he would have been like, oh, well, that might be a bad, but he just wanted.
I mean, he didn't really have too many options and too many decisions here.
Exactly.
I understand. Yes, he needed to clear his wife, but while things were happening to the sister, they needed to figure out ways to help her because they knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was time.
Well, no,
there was like at least a month or so.
He said, remember that Martine said she wouldn't remember anything.
The wife wouldn't remember anything. Yes,
Yeah.
but the father and the daughter know.
Right.
And Martine knows.
True.
They should have worked because like it's still in the family.
Exactly.
The demon is still in the family. What were they going to do? Say, Katie, you're not allowed ever at our house again?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Because the wife would be like,
well,
why
I guess
can't my sister come over? And obviously
naive.
she did come over after all this because they showed her being like, hey, is anything
everything
happening
okay?
over here? Because things are happening for me.
But she was just talking to her sister confidentially. She didn't probably tell that to the husband and the.
But the husband and the daughter knew that the sister was coming over.
Yeah.
Like, and they knew
know.
they knew that it had to jump to another family member because Martine said that. So I'm like, why weren't they trying to get rid of it for Katie? Or protect their family a little bit more,
because
or continue on with it. I feel like they were just like, okay, we solved our problem.
Yeah,
we're done. Yay!
Ignorance is bliss. 1 and 2, they had to have a movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
So they had to do something to tie things around. Yes, it's not the prettiest knot, but it's kind of cool. I think I like the origin, and it just keeps going more back. Just heads up.
I figured when I saw, because I haven't seen Paranormal Activity 3, but I saw like the poster, I guess, for it, and it's 2 girls in a bed. So I'm assuming that those are the sisters when they're little, because they did talk about how it's the mom's fault.
Yes. And
the mom made the deal with the devil.
Well, kind of. It wraps around. It's kind of, again, it's funny. It's almost like Hereditary in a way.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's heading down that rabbit hole there.
I think you'll like the third one more.
I'm sure I will like the third one more. I don't like things happening to babies.
No, I agree. That was creepy. I was pretty impressed how they were able, the scene where they're dragging Hunter out of the crib.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
No.
Yeah, it's very scary.
In my brain, I'm like, okay, so somebody just like in a green suit picking him up and they were able to get rid of him.
Of course.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way to do it.
So I'm glad that not too much happened to Hunter. Yeah, he was crying, babies cry. That's fine. But they weren't like...
No, they didn't manhandle him or anything.
Yeah.
It's cool in a spooky way where you can see him like on the cameras running by himself downstairs and then somehow get back upstairs.
Yeah.
That was pretty clever on how they could do that and still make it really creepy because they didn't need anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool.
I like a lot of scenes.
Yeah. I jumped. It was funny. So I was trying to watch this in bed while I was getting the kids to bed here and there, and it's on my phone. Mm-hmm. And I made me jump a couple scenes, and I like
even though you've seen it before, it made you jump.
I haven't seen it in a while, so it just made me jump, and I was like, I kind of like shook my little one next to me.
He's like,
yeah. So that was fun.
That's cute.
So yeah, this movie still, I think for me, hits better than the first one. It doesn't sound like it does that for you.
Well, I mean, no, because the first one, it was like OG.
Yeah.
And so this one is a sequel, and it feels like a sequel to me because you get more in depth. I appreciate that they explained it more. And we're learning more about this presence and why it's attacking the family. That's cool. And I didn't realize that it was before the Katie thing, because like the first time that Katie pops up and shows up, and I was just like, oh, what? When is this? How is she there? And then Mika's there, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so this had to have been before. And then I started like piecing it together. And then, they do put the little titles up there and say this is 60 days before Mika dies, or they discover him or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're very clear about all that.
Cool. And I want to know what happens to the teenage daughter, because she was alive. She wasn't in the house. She discovered the bodies. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe, I don't know. You're smiling, so probably.
Honestly, I don't remember too many details about the third one, but I just remember liking it. It's interesting.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean,
creepier.
Yeah. So it was a good sequel. I like how the origin story was more revealed. It did advance things. Like it wasn't like The Nun 2 where you're just like, this is something completely different.
Yeah.
We're just opening it up for a bigger franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is like, we are moving through the story.
Yep.
We're giving you more. But it wasn't as scary as the first one because I knew how it was going to haunt and things that would happen.
True.
Some cool effects that they did were all the cabinets in the kitchen just opening.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a cool effect. Yeah. That was probably my favorite thing. And then her getting pulled down the stairs was pretty cool too.
It shocked me was the when the cabinets
when you jumped because it just all of a sudden
quickly.
Yeah. You're like, ah!
Yeah, but the stair scene was freaky.
Yeah,
that was very
horrible. Scary. Yeah, watching her like fight nothing.
Yes,
like how what do you do?
And she's screaming like, "Oh my God, help!" I'm like, I don't know what I would do. I honestly,
And I felt bad for the dog. I knew something was going to happen to the dog because the dog is protecting the baby.
Yes.
And like, so and
they have to be eliminated.
Yeah,
poor puppy. But how many stitches would you give this?
So IMDb gave it a 5. I'd probably give it a little bit higher than a 5. I'd probably give it like a 7 because it's still good, but like it wasn't as good as the first one to me because the first one was like very original, and this is like it's going to be the same CCTV kind of a thing. You're going to see some creepy things happen. So like I was expecting things to happen kind of the way they happened. I knew the creature that was going to be attacking them, but it was interesting to see this side of the story and how it like gives more to who this entity is and where this entity is coming from. And so it was good.
What did I give? I don't even remember what I gave the first one.
I don't know. We gave it high scores. I should remember because I just edited that one. I should remember what it was. Guys, what scores did we give the first one? Let us know at theominousstitch@gmail.com.
Oh my gosh. Because I want to give it a little higher than the first one, but I don't remember. So whatever.
I mean, you gave the first one. I probably gave the first one a 9. You gave it lower because you said you liked this one better.
I'm going to say this is an 8. So I guess if that's the same, whatever. Okay. Yeah. It's the same franchise.
So 8, but higher.
Sure. 8.15392.
It's a higher 8 than what the last one was.
There you go. So I have to say I like this one a little more. The third one I think I like most of all of them. So
I feel like I will probably like the third one better.
Because they know what they're doing at this point.
Yeah.
It's a formula. So I'm glad we got to see this. And I don't know, what next week's episode's going to be yet. So
we don't
stay
know.
Tuned.
You guys do. We don't know.
I don't know.
Actually, we will know by the time you guys hear it. So
we will know. But that'll be exciting. But this was fun. So maybe we'll tour around somewhere else. But I'm so glad I got to visit England. So,
yay. That's good. I always love visiting haunted things. Like that's what I started doing while I was crocheting is just watching all the paranormal investigators. So anytime we can investigate and learn more about the haunts of specific places, or that's my bread and butter. Fun, huh? That's my favorite. I love that. Yeah. So it's like in an odd way, it's a warm hug. So
we're not weird.
But that's okay. So are our
I was
Stitchers.
gonna
They
say,
love
you're
it
listening
too. You
to
guys
us,
are
so you're
weird with
too,
us. We
so.
love it.
Haha.
Oh, so until another warm hug comes your way, we'll see you, Stitchers.
See you, Stitchers.